Right now at 10, 1 week away from the hotly contested Wisconsin Supreme Court election. Both candidates picking up major endorsements.
And Together We Can, a nonprofit, looks to address the Coulee region's lack of childcare options.
Plus, otters at large. The search continues for some furry friends who busted out of a Wisconsin zoo.
WKBT La Crosse. This is News 8 Now at 10.
Good evening, I'm Emily Brown.
And I'm Ken Kozarowski. Another big endorsement in the Wisconsin Supreme Court race that's capturing national attention.
Former President Barack Obama throwing his weight behind Dane County Judge Susan Crawford. Earlier today, Crawford brought her Common Sense Justice Tour to La Crosse. She reminded voters of her history of fighting for everyone in Wisconsin.
Well, I've always worked throughout my career to try to use my experience and the skills that I've gained to protect Wisconsinites under our laws and Constitution, and that's very much at stake in this election. So that's really why I'm running.
Waukesha County Judge Brad Schimmel has support from President Trump and just picked up more support from a police association in Janesville.
Put protecting community safety first, and they got to see that in me. And so, as I said, there's no endorsement I could be more proud of than from the largest organization in Wisconsin representing those brave men and women on the front lines to keep our communities safe.
The election is April 1st.
And that race could be causing a surge in early voting. According to the Wisconsin Elections Commission, over 345,000 voters have returned ballots, compared with about 233,000 during the last court race. The election will determine whether the court stays under a liberal control.
The nonpartisan race for state superintendent heating up as well. In a press call today, the Republican-backed Brittany Kinzer leaning into her support for Act 11. The 2023 law increased the amount of money allocated to private school choice programs.
The bipartisan bill that gave more money to all the schools. So all of the schools got more money. It also gave more money to students who receive vouchers living below a certain income.
Kinzer going up against the Democratic-backed and incumbent Jill Underly.
White House officials are responding after a group text chat shared sensitive military information with a journalist. The editor-in-chief of The Atlantic was added to a group on Signal that included National Security Advisor Mike Waltz, Vice President J.D. Vance, and Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth. Texts included plans for upcoming military strikes in Yemen. Waltz told Fox News tonight he put the group chat together and called the mistake embarrassing. While top Democrats are demanding Waltz and Hegseth resign, President Trump says national security is stronger than it's ever been. We asked Congressman and veteran Derek Van Orden to respond to the messages. He wrote in a statement, quote, "If it was an administrative error, there should be administrative consequences. If this was done in a criminal manner, then there needs to be criminal consequences."
The problems keep coming for former Minnesota Senator Justin Eichorn. Governor Tim Walz calling for a special election on April 29th to fill the vacant seat. It comes as Eichorn's wife files for divorce. The ex-senator was arrested during an underage sex sting. New court documents reveal he may have lied to prosecutors and tried to hide evidence.
I don't give a crap what occupation you have. If you come here and mess with kids, you're going to jail.
Eichorn faces a detention hearing tomorrow.
In Monroe County, a former nurse is accused of having a sexual relationship with a patient. 29-year-old Melissa Knutson was part of the county's Department of Health and Human Services. In 2023, Knutson told police she was raped by a patient in 2022. She was reportedly afraid to report it, fearing threats from the patient. But text messages allegedly show that Knutson initiated the relationship and tried to hide it. Tonight, Knutson is free on a $2,500 cash bond.
Yeah, all in all, we're going to have some periods of light rain, and it's more probably like periods of sprinkles for some areas through probably Wednesday night, including a little bit this evening for a few more hours. But all in all, a lot of areas will still remain dry, and the bigger picture is we're going to continue to warm up. There's your activity right now, just a lot of light precipitation, and most of this still has not really reached the ground overall. It's just cloud cover coming through. Still a sprinkle, even a flurry. You can see some mixed stuff up towards northwest of Eau Claire. It's possible for a few hours, but nothing more than even to wet the ground at the most. most would be expected. Otherwise, cloud cover will keep some of these temperatures up closer to 30. Other areas that do clear out a little bit further to the north to the low 20s. All in all, pretty typical temperatures as we go out to the end of March. As we wake up here, look 32 in La Crosse, we're going to start seeing a little bit more sun towards noon as we get back up to 50 degrees with some light northwest winds. Very similar to Eau Claire, a little bit more clouds in the morning, gives way to some sun towards the noon hour with the winds turn around to the west, and 47. So all in all, a good start to the Wednesday. Then as we go on further on, we'll kind of break down later on the temperatures that were going on and the precipitation further on for the Wednesday night. We got Friday 70s possible. And then it gets messy this weekend. So we'll break that down too. Unfortunately, it's going to be kind of close to a repeat of last weekend.
Messy times 3, he says.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Serious.
Yes, a lot of stuff going on.
Thanks, Greg.
Well, Eau Claire City Council passed a resolution to protect the city's trees. The resolution will update how trees are cared for, the approved species list, and licensing fees for tree care companies. It will also help establish an urban forestry board in one of the city's departments. Eau Claire's tree ordinance was last updated in 1970. The updates come after residents complained about trees being knocked down for construction.
It's a street is being redone, and all of a sudden all the street trees start disappearing along the street. People have noticeable, they'll sort of opens up their entire neighborhood and doesn't have a canopy. The sun beats down on the street.
According to Worthman, the resolution doesn't officially update the ordinance, but it starts the process. He hopes to have it complete later this year.
Well, a long-awaited building project for UW-La Crosse has hit another snag in Madison. Governor Evers' budget proposal includes $149 million for Phase 2 of the Prairie Springs Science Center project. But the bipartisan State Building Commission deadlocked 4-4 in a vote to recommend any of the proposed building projects to the full legislature. That means it is less likely the legislature includes Prairie Springs in its budget draft. Now, in a statement, Commission member and La Crosse Assemblywoman Jill Billings said in part, quote, "While this vote is a disappointing setback, the work is not done. This is the fourth budget where UWL has requested funding for the completion of the Science Center, and it is past time for us to come together to approve this project."
A new City of La Crosse child care initiative aims to help providers and local employers. A lack of child care options is creating problems because when parents don't have reliable child care, they can't go to work, and that's costing businesses. So the Parenting Place, in partnership with the city, created Together We Can. The program reimburses La Crosse employers up to 50% of their investment when they partner with a local child care business.
Whether that be reserved childcare slots, waitlist priority, tuition discounts, that partnership is up to the employer and the childcare programs.
Now, there are some general requirements to participate, like both the child care provider and employer must be located in La Crosse. Applications are open now for Together We Can. You can contact the Parenting Place if you are interested in applying.
The National Commander of the American Legion was in La Crescent today. Commander James LaCourciere Jr. is traveling the country as part of the Legion's Be the One tour. This tour aims to raise awareness for the Legion's mission to prevent veteran suicide.
We're finding out that everybody's striving for the same purpose. It's just a matter of taking the right steps. And that purpose is for a better community and a better state and a better nation, overall.
LaCourciere Jr. says he'll be gearing up for the Legion's European tour after this one is finished.
Tomorrow is Jersey Mike's 15th annual Day of Giving. 47 of the restaurant locations across Wisconsin will give 100% of their sales to the Special Olympics of Wisconsin. Last year, Jersey Mike's raised $25 million during their month of giving. This year, they're hoping to break that record-setting number.
We are just really, as an organization, we are really thankful for this partnership. It is a huge, it's a huge deal for us to have such strong community, mission-driven folks that are that we partner with in our communities.
During the month of March, customers have the option to round up their purchase to the nearest dollar for an extra donation. Since 2011, the month of giving has raised more than $113 million. Anti-Tesla attacks are on the rise.
How a showroom in Texas was targeted and what Tesla owners are saying.
Brad Schimmel would ban abortions, with no exceptions for rape or incest or the mother's health, and jail doctors who perform them. You have the right to make your own health care decisions. Don't let Brad Schimmel take that right away.
Wisconsin, one of those places where families spend their winters among our frozen lakes and snow-covered hills. With all the fun we're having, it's easy to take for granted how we warm up, by the fire or simply adjusting our thermostat. But what if you couldn't warm up so easily? It might be simple to imagine for 60 seconds, but for many, it's a reality they can't ignore. Working families, elderly, disabled, and veterans struggling to keep their heat and power on in the dangerous cold of winter. Freezing temperatures aren't just uncomfortable for them, they can be deadly. Make a real difference by providing a hand up for a neighbor in need. No matter the amount, every dollar helps. No one deserves to suffer when we can help each other.
It's tournament time at Osseo Automotive, and the savings are giant. And so is the selection.
Get a giant $18,000 off a new 2024 Ford Bronco Raptor with 4 to choose from. Or get $18,000 off a new 2023 Ford Transit Cargo Van.
You'll never see anything this big again. The giant tournament sale is going on now at Osseo Ford, Nels Gunderson Chevrolet, Fountain City Ford, and Rudy's in Whitehall.
Brad Schimmel would ban abortions, with no exceptions for rape or incest or the mother's health, and jail doctors who perform them. You have the right to make your own health care decisions. Don't let Brad Schimmel take that right away.
Trump administration officials say they'll crack down on what they're calling coordinated attacks on Tesla vehicles and dealerships across the country.
That comes after multiple incendiary devices were found at a Tesla showroom in Austin yesterday. CBS News correspondent Karen Waugh has more from Austin.
Investigators took pictures and gathered evidence outside a Tesla showroom in Northwest Austin after incendiary devices were found there Monday morning. No one was injured, but the incident spooked residents.
That's horrific, horrible. I have 6 children. I mean, they're all grown in their 30s now, but I have grandchildren. What if I was up here to show them a car?
Police have not yet released the names of anyone involved in this attack, and they haven't shared any information about what types of devices were found here as well.
It's one of a string of recent incidents targeting Tesla, from vehicles set on fire in Nevada and Missouri to graffiti in Maryland and Colorado. Since January, CBS News has identified at least 32 vandalism cases across 16 states, impacting Tesla cars, charging stations, or dealerships. The FBI has launched a task force to investigate what its director calls domestic terrorism. President Trump reiterated that message Monday.
I think they're going to suffer very grave consequences because they're really terrorists when you think about it.
Jeff Nguyen bought his Tesla 3 years ago. He says built-in cameras recorded a man keying his car last week at Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport. He posted the video on social media and it went viral.
It's kind of crazy that just something like this is turned into like a political thing.
Elon Musk says Doge employees have been getting death threats. Karen Hua, CBS News, Austin.
Gas prices in Wisconsin have surged above $3 for the first time this year. As of today, the average price for a regular gallon in Wisconsin, $3.05. Nearly 10 cents more expensive than a week ago. Gas prices normally rise as refineries switch from a cheaper inner-blend gasoline to a more expensive one.
A Coca-Cola recall has been issued in Illinois and Wisconsin for a possible plastic contamination. About 10,000 cans are involved in the recall. So far, no word if anyone has gotten ill. The FDA on Monday labeled this as a Class 2 recall, which means the risk of getting sick is remote. Well, we have more news ahead.
But first,
despite the little precipitation we have tonight and even Wednesday night, temperatures are going to continue to climb up to the 70s by Friday. Unfortunately, the weekend doesn't look that great with a lot of rain and potentially snow. We'll break it all down for you coming up on your First Warn Weather Update after the break.
You wouldn't buy the first vehicle you saw.
Trust me, it's perfectly safe.
I'll take it. So don't hire the first personal injury lawyer you call.
Trust me.
Where do I sign? Object to anything less than the best. Call BGR.
No matter where I seat my guests, they seem to like the kitchen best. A kitchen's the heart of the home. It should be warm and welcoming. It should be attractive and functional. But it can be a real challenge unless you come here where you can meet with a designer, find all of the products that you need, and trust the project to our carpenters, plumbers, and electricians. For kitchens, bathrooms, and other home improvements, put your trust in the Board Store Home Improvements. Contact us today.
I did know that back pain, foot pain come along with the job of waiting tables, but since getting the arch supports from the Good Feet store, I have had no pain. I'm more positive. It's like opening up a whole new life, like sunshine coming out.
See how we can help you too at the Good Feet store.
We all have a friend who loves the McDonald's hot, crispy Filet-O-Fish. My friend, you could be that friend.
Hurry in and get 2 Filet-O-Fish sandwiches for just $6.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Style or substance. Somehow, it became one or the other. But there is another choice. Not stopping until you have everything in the GMC Sierra. Or get 0.9% APR on 2025 Sierra 1500 models. Or get over $5,300 total value on select Sierra 1500 models.
How corrupt is Brad Schimmel? Let's count the ways. 1. Schimmel gave a plea deal to a man caught with child porn after the man's lawyer gave his campaign thousands of dollars. 2. Schimmel let 6,000 rape kits sit untested for years, then lied about it. 3. Schimmel took thousands in campaign contributions from opioid makers, then refused to go after them when opioid deaths spiked. That's Brad Schimmel, and he's way too corrupt for the Supreme Court.
Hiring the wrong personal injury attorney can cost you a lot. Researching personal injury attorneys costs you nothing. We're confident that your research will lead you to buy Goff and Rohde. BGR, object to anything less than the best.
Is it time for new windows or doors? Contact the company who has done the research for you. The best windows and doors installed by the best people. Clear Choice Window and Home Solutions.
Now tomorrow we're going to see a little bit increase in the high temperatures. In fact, some areas may get close to 60. Our average temperature actually now is 50 degrees at La Crosse. It's 46 or 47 for Eau Claire. So we're getting close to where these temperatures are more common than they would. Otherwise, as we go on to Thursday, that means more areas will probably be into the 60s. We'll still have some clouds in the morning, some more sun in the afternoon, but all in all, everyone should at least get close to the 60. And then going into Friday, we still have some precipitation chances going on, and they're going to be kind of a tight gradient across the area. And what I mean by the gradient is the change in temperatures from mid-70s to the south to potentially just upper 50s. So there is going to be a boundary kind of sitting right probably along I-94 or just north. So there'll be a big difference in temperatures. But the good news is this has been pushing further north as we get closer to it. So a lot of more areas will probably be enjoying at least close to 70, if not into the 70s. Now that chance for rain tomorrow night, we do have a little bit of a system diving south. Once again, it'll be just a very light rain band, probably after the evening commute. Actually, we get closer to the event, it's looking less than likely it's going to be hitting probably not till about 10 p.m. for areas up to north of Eau Claire. It'll kind of spread across the area. This probably looks more impressive than excuse me, what it actually will fall to the ground, but we're looking at a little bit of light precipitation that'll continue probably 3 or 4 a.m., maybe a very small area that'll get this precipitation, light rain. It's likely to push out before the morning commute on Thursday, so we're not expecting any impacts with that. And it should be all in the form of light rain, as temperatures pretty much should hover around the upper 30s to low 40s. So not expecting a lot of precipitation. In fact, a lot of areas will probably be under a tenth or less, but a few areas may get closer to a quarter. And you can see outside of this area where this band sets up, maybe a trace or less. So this may shift a little bit north or south depending on how it moves, but you could see that while you're sleeping, basically Wednesday night. Overall, as we go into the weekend, that's when it gets really kind of a messy situation, even more messier than we had last weekend because there's a lot of factors playing in what type of precipitation type we'll get, especially further north you go. But right now, what we know for sure is Friday night, it looks like rain and some thunderstorms. It'll all be rain. Then as we go into Saturday, it gets a little more tricky as you go further north of I-94, north of I-94, given that it could be wintry mix going on. That wintry mix may come down a little bit closer to Eau Claire as we get Saturday night into Sunday. The changeover for snow for all areas should occur probably Sunday and Sunday night, and there is accumulation possibility with this that could impact maybe some road conditions going into Monday morning. This time of year, it's really the nighttime is when the roads become more of an issue, not so much during the day. Snowfall right now, you can see it's very close to some of these areas up there. Could you get it? This definitely will change. It's not even coming close to the final thing of snow melts. We'll see. But definitely, if you have plans further north of I-94 going up in that area, ice could be an issue and snow could be an issue too going on Sunday and Sunday night too. Otherwise, enjoy the warmer temperatures. Mid-70s potentially down here for Friday. Looks fairly dry, maybe some showers. That doesn't really mention that for Thursday night. And then it just gets wet and cold as we go into Sunday and Sunday night. And then, yeah, we could see some road issues at some point. Yeah. Nighttime, Saturday night up to the north, maybe Sunday night here too. So we'll keep an eye on that. But unfortunately, it is the weekend once again.
I know. What a bummer.
Yeah, timing, unfortunately.
Yeah, you can't control it.
Yeah, yeah.
Thanks, Greg. Coming up next in sports, Dame to the sideline. The Bucks star guard out for the foreseeable future. Plus, there's a new woman in charge of the Badger women's basketball program. Some info on the new hire, courtesy of Jacob. Next.
Get solar and get saving with Olson Solar Energy.
The biggest thing I want to get across to people, whether it's via email or voicemail or text, is we are a local Wisconsin family-owned turnkey solar company.
We have project managers that will walk you through the process, keep you informed along the way, and make sure that the communication is the best that it can be.
All the financial benefits are awesome. And then on top of that, it's green energy. How can you lose?
After more than 30 years in banking, I have seen a lot of changes in the housing market and in home lending. The one thing that has not changed is my dedication to get to know you and your individual mortgage needs. There are many home loan programs out there today. We can sit down or talk over the phone to figure out what home loan program is best for you. Come see me and let's talk.
Everybody's welcome at Firefighters Credit Union.
It's Truck Month with the Ford Crew.
It's time for the best deals across the full lineup. F-Series, the best-selling trucks for 48 years. You've got Maverick and the North American 2025 Truck of the Year, Ford Ranger, fully prepared.
Did you sleep here last night?
If you stay ready, you don't need to get ready. And this crew is Truck Month ready.
Now get 2.9% financing for 72 months on a new Ford F-150. Plus, for a limited time, $1,000 bonus cash. Only at your local Northland Ford dealers.
A 5-year-old girl violated. The predator faced up to 60 years behind bars. Radical Susan Crawford sided with him, released on a $500 bond, and lived across from a school. His sentence, just 4 years in prison. Now he's free. All because Susan Crawford and her warped, soft-on-crime agenda. Catch and release Crawford. Don't take the risk. Fair Courts America is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Covering all the exciting action from your community. Here's News 8 Now Sports with Jacob Lenzendorf.
Well, the transfer portal is open for collegiate players, but the coaching carousel making some headlines as well, as the Badgers have a new woman who will look to revive the ladies program. It was announced today that Robin Pingeton is taking over the reins as head coach of Wisconsin. She comes to Madison from Missouri, where she was the head coach of the Tigers for 15 seasons. Pingeton had a 250 and 218 record in Columbia and reached 4 straight NCAA tournaments from 2016 to 2019. Back on February 26th, she announced that she would be resigning at the end of Missouri's season, and the Tigers finished with a 14 and 18 record. Badgers AD Chris McIntosh with a statement today on the hire, in part saying she has accomplished so much as a coach and has produced winners both on the court and in the classroom. Robin has Midwest roots and coaching experience, and she and her family will fit right into our local community as well as our state. Pingeton takes over a program that hadn't had a winning season since the 2010-2011 campaign, when the Badgers finished 16 and 15. And this was the scene across the border as Niko Medved was officially introduced as the head men's basketball coach of Minnesota. Medved only grew up about 14 minutes from the barn in Roseville. He went to school at Minnesota, was a student manager for the Gophers, as well as an assistant for the 06-07 season. It's a full circle moment for the new man at the end of the bench as he looks to get the program back on the right track.
This was something, of course, I dreamed of, and just to have it become a reality, it hasn't hit me yet. You know what I mean? Really, it hasn't hit me, but it will. But dreams can come true. Do you know what I mean? That's what life is, and if you really believe in something and you stick with it, and you get the right people who support you, anything can happen.
Medved spent the last 7 years as head coach of Colorado State, where he had a record of 143-85, and he is the 19th head coach in Gopher history. All right, news that just dropped a couple of hours ago in the NBA, Bucks guard Damian Lillard has been diagnosed with deep vein thrombosis, which in simpler terms is a blood clot in his right calf. The team announcing that he is out indefinitely. The good news in all this is that the doctors caught this in time, and he's on blood-thinning medication, which has stabilized the clot. Milwaukee GM John Horst said the situation unlikely to occur again, but the team wants to make sure it is safe for him to return. Bucks will take on the 3 seed in the West tomorrow. The Nuggets, nice little throwback on the logo there for you. Nikola Jokic doubtful in the contest with an ankle injury, and it is the last game of a 5-game West Coast road trip. And for those excited for the return of UWL baseball, you don't have to wait as long for that home opener as you thought, as an Eagle Athletic Department announcement today said they're moving up the previously scheduled Saturday-Sunday home doubleheader to Thursday and Friday due to some impending weather. Thursday's game starts at 1, while Friday's first pitch is noon. All those games at Copeland Park. And let's head to the ice. Wild taking on the Knights tonight. Early third period. Minnesota is going to get on the board courtesy of Marcus Johansson's 8th goal of the season to slice the deficit in half. But then it's Vegas in the power play. Jack Eichel has space, and he lights the lamp with a laser. He had a hat trick on the night. And then the dagger, empty net goal for Tanner Pearson. Knights would even add another one on as Vegas gets the win 5-1. But back to the Bucks, guys. Bad news, but good news that we caught it. Yeah. And good that he's going to be on the mend, but not great for the Bucks that are struggling right now a little bit as well. So
no, and I mean they're in the middle of the seeds, so it'd be a tough first-round matchup if the season were to end today against the Pacers as the 5 seed. Pistons right behind them by a half game, so you lose Dame for an extended period of time. It's tough. That might fall all the way back at the end of the playoff seedings.
Yeah,
the rate things are going.
Guys are going to have to step up for sure. So we will see what happens. Only a few weeks left of the regular season. So who knows?
Fingers crossed, I guess. Thanks, Jacob.
All right, more news right after this.
Celebrate Ashley's 80th anniversary with a new mattress by Ashley Sleep, starting at $499.99. Plus 0% interest for 80 months when you buy in store. Don't miss the Ashley 80th anniversary sale.
The Silverado Trail Boss. And a little work. And a little play. And a truck that says no to nothing. And Chevrolet.
It's Chevy Truck Month. Well-qualified buyers can get 2.9% financing for 72 months on this Silverado. Or get $4,350 total value. Plus, current Chevy owners can get $4,000 total cash allowance when you trade in an eligible vehicle.
There's been a lot of talk about this Supreme Court race, but here's what's really at stake. Brad Schimmel wants to make sure women don't have the right to make their own health care decisions. If he wins, that right is gone. I'm Susan Crawford, a former prosecutor, a common sense judge, and a mom. And I trust women to make their own health care decisions. Brad Schimmel doesn't, but I always will. And that's why I'm asking for your vote.
At the University of Wisconsin-Madison, we believe in working together to address real-world challenges. That's why we're proud to help farmers cultivate healthy food and landowners preserve and maintain forest land. We're proud to educate the next generation of teachers and drive groundbreaking medical research. Together, we make an impact that rings loud and clear. One Wisconsin, on Wisconsin.
Celebrate Ashley's 80th anniversary by getting a great night's sleep. Buy a Beautyrest Black mattress and get a free adjustable base, plus 0% interest for 80 months when you buy in-store. Don't miss the Ashley 80th anniversary sale. Shop in-store and online.
You're watching News 8 Now. Expect more.
2 otters are on the run, or better yet, on the slide after busting out of a Green Bay zoo late last week.
Right. Footage from the new Zoo Adventure Park shows the wild night North American river otters Louie and Ophelia had in the fresh snowfall, bouncing along and sliding on their bellies. Staff say the otters broke out of their habitat through a small breach in buried fencing. Professional tracker and motion sensor cameras are now being used to try and help find them, though both Louie and Ophelia were born in the wild, and staff say they are more than capable of surviving in Wisconsin's climate. Little partners in crime right there.
I know. I just love the belly slide on the fresh snowfall.
Slithering out there like snakes.
Yeah.
Those bellies come in handy, right?
They sure do.
Slick.
Yeah.
Okay, Greg has a final look at your forecast right after this.
Getting the kids ready for school isn't always easy.
But knowing what it'll be like so they know what to wear makes it a little easier.
We'll see you tomorrow morning.
Working with Maxwell White was amazing. They were professional, answered all of my questions.
I give Maxwell White my highest possible recommendation.
Maxwell White did a fabulous job on our shower. 5-star plumbing service done right.
Voters deserve to know what our records are.
Susan Crawford's record? Disturbing and dangerous. A 7-year-old girl sexually assaulted. The attacker faced 100 years. Crawford let him off with only 4.
I don't regret that sentence.
A 5-year-old violated. The predator should have rotted in prison. He got out in just 2 years. She protected them, not us.
I don't regret that sentence. I am proud of the work that I've done.
Susan Crawford, putting criminals over your kids.
It's Truck Month with the Ford Crew.
It's time for the best deals across the full lineup. F-Series, the best-selling trucks for 48 years. You've got Maverick and the North American 2025 Truck of the Year, Ford Ranger, fully prepared.
Did you sleep here last night?
If you stay ready, you don't need to get ready. And this crew is Truck Month ready.
Now get 2.9% financing for 72 months on a new Ford F-150. Plus, for a limited time, $1,000 bonus cash. Only at your local Northland Ford dealers.
This is the story about a little empathy. No matter where little empathy looked, it just couldn't find its place in the world. Which was sad, because it had so much to give. Then one day, little empathy made a friend. And the friend took it somewhere it would always be useful and appreciated. Welcome to a place where healthcare is all about caring. Amplify Health. A little empathy changes everything.
Where there's a flooded basement, there's a solution. Where there are wet spots or musty smells, there's an answer. Where wood damage or dry rot is stealing home value, there's an expert. American Waterworks. For wet basements, wood damage, and effects of dry rot, American Waterworks professional crack repair, waterproofing, sump pumps, and vapor barriers provide long-lasting solutions to tough problems. Wherever moisture problems surface, there's an answer. American Waterworks. Schedule your free inspection and estimate today.
Have you checked your sump pump lately? After a big rain, basement flooding can significantly damage your home. Stay ahead and dry with a call to Maxwell White. We have standard pumps along with battery backup systems in case you lose power. Prevent future damage. Contact Maxwell White today.
Overall, dry and quiet for Wednesday, with some areas getting close to 60, so a few degrees warmer than we've had for Tuesday. The trend will continue on Thursday. We do have that light rain Wednesday night. Won't be a significant amount of rainfall that night. Otherwise, Friday, 70s for most locations, and then it just gets messy Saturday, Sunday. We have rain, we have snow, we have ice in certain areas of the whole state. So travel plans, definitely stay tuned to that period.
Looks like some good golfing weather as well. Then for the next couple days.
Yeah, the next couple of days for sure. All right, that does it for us at 10.